The laugh in the arena. The arena shook with the sound of thousands of alien voices. They roared, hissed, and clicked, each species making their own sound of excitement. Dust hung in the air under the burning lights. Somewhere in that sea of noise, a name echoed again and again. Zirith, Zirith, Zirith. The champion of the Varrock species stood in the center of the sand pit. Her scaled skin shone under the lights, green and gold like a predator's hide. She was tall, strong, and armored in dark battle plates. Beside her, the cage door rattled as something huge moved inside. She grinned, her sharp teeth glinting. Across the arena floor, a single figure walked forward. A human, no armor, no heavy weapons. Just a plain black shirt, combat pants, and light gloves. His name was Dane Voss. His steps were slow, steady, and silent. The crowd's laughter grew. Some aliens pointed at him. Others mimicked the way his thin human arms moved, as if to say, "This is all they sent?" Zirith folded her arms and smirked. "They called you a warrior, human," she said, her deep voice echoing from the arena speakers. "But you are small, soft, fragile." Dane didn't answer. His eyes scanned her, then the cage. His gaze lingered on the shadow moving behind the bars. "Do you know what's in there?" Zirith continued, her tone mocking. "It is a war beast, born for battle. It can tear a man in half before he can scream. It will crush you like dried bone." The crowd roared at her words. She tilted her head, studying him like a curious insect. "But perhaps," she added with a cruel smile, "your species enjoys dying for entertainment." Still, Dane didn't speak. He just stood there, hands loose at his sides, his breathing calm. Zirith laughed. "Release it." The gate of the cage slammed open. Out stepped the nightmare. 4 massive legs pounded the ground. 2 extra arms jutted from its chest, each ending in claws as long as swords. Its hide was thick, layered with bone-like armor. Its head was low and wide, its mouth filled with jagged teeth. Each step shook the sand. The war beast roared, a sound that rolled through the arena like thunder. Dust fell from the upper walls. Dane's eyes never left it. His heart didn't race. He didn't flinch. The crowd expected him to run, or at least back away. Instead, he took one slow step forward. The beast lunged out. Its front claws slammed into the ground where Dane had been standing. Sand exploded upward. Dane rolled aside, his movements quick and precise. The crowd gasped. "Lucky dodge!" Someone shouted from the stands. Zirith laughed again. "Run, little human. Run until it finds you." The beast charged again. This time Dane sidestepped, making the monster's claws tear through empty air. He kept moving, circling, watching. His eyes scanned the beast's legs, the joints between its armored plates, the way it breathed. For a moment, something flashed in his mind. Another fight, years ago, in the Outer Rim Wars. Another creature. Similar, almost identical. He remembered the weak point. The beast snapped its jaws at him, missing by inches. Its teeth clamped down on the air with a sound like metal breaking. Dane stayed calm. He didn't attack yet. He was waiting. Zirith tilted her head. Her smile faltered just a little. The beast lunged a third time. Claws spread wide. Dane moved again, faster this time. His fist shot out, striking the side of its armored neck with bone-shaking force. The sound echoed across the arena. A crack peered on the beast's armor plate. The crowd went silent for a breath. Then came the murmurs. "Did you see that?" "Impossible. He cracked it. No one's done that before." Zirith's smile vanished completely. Her eyes narrowed. Dane didn't speak. He only shook the dust from his hands and took another step toward the beast. The war monster growled. its eyes glowing brighter. It lowered its head, preparing for another charge. The crowd began to cheer again, this time not for Zirith, but for the fight itself. Something was changing. Zirith clenched her jaw. Enough games. Kill him. The beast roared, shaking the ground. Dane only smiled faintly. Somewhere deep inside, he whispered to himself, "Now I know where to hit you." The beast charged, the crowd screaming in excitement. Dane's stance shifted, ready to meet it head on. And, in that moment, the galaxy's view of fragile humans was about to change forever. Asterisk first strike. First shock. The war beast's charge was like a thunderstorm. Every step shook the ground. Sand sprayed in all directions. Its claws ripped the arena floor as it closed the distance to Dane. The crowd screamed, some in excitement, others in fear. Dane didn't run. He stepped sideways at the last possible second, the beast's claws missing him by a hair. He felt the air tear past his face. The monster spun fast for its size, its extra arms swinging like hammers. Dane ducked, sliding across the sand, feeling the sharp wind of those claws above. His head, the alien crowd roared at the near hit. Zirith smirked, but her eyes were watching more closely now. Dane stood, dust coating his clothes. He kept moving in a circle, never letting the beast get a straight path to him. Every step he took was measured. Every glance he made was at a weak point. The monster came again, claws up, ready to crush. This time Dane stepped in, not away. The alien audience gasped. No one ever went towards the war beast. Dane's right fist shot forward, striking under the beast's jaw. The hit sounded like a steel hammer smashing a rock. The monster's head jerked sideways. The crowd fell silent for a heartbeat. Then, small crack appeared in the bone armor under its jaw dot. It wasn't much, but it was damage. Zirith's nostrils flared. Impossible. She whispered the beast roared in rage, stumbling back a step before lowering its head again. Its breathing was heavier now. Dane stayed calm. His eyes didn't leave that cracked spot. The crowd began to murmur. "Did you see that?" He heard it. No one hurts. The war beast. The monster attacked again, swinging all four arms. Dane weaved between them, each dodge impossibly close. Sand clung to his sweat as he moved, like a shadow in human form. And then he struck again. This time, his left fist slammed into the exact same spot under the jaw. The crack widened. Dark fluid began to seep through. The crowd's reaction was instant. Half of them were on their feet, screaming in disbelief. Zirith's claws tapped against her armor. Her smile was gone now, replaced by something sharper. Kill him. She barked. The war beast bellowed, eyes burning with fury. But Dane didn't flinch. His breathing stayed steady. He rolled his shoulders, ready for the next exchange. The alien. Cameras zoomed in on his face, broadcasting to every screen in the arena. His expression was unreadable calm, almost bored. In the stands, an old alien whispered to his friend, "That's not the face of prey. That's the face of a predator." The beast lunged again, and Dane braced for the strike that would change the fight forever. Asterisk. The beast fights back. The war beast's roar rolled through the arena like a shockwave, shaking the metal stands. Dust rained down from the upper walls. Its massive claws gouged deep lines into the sand as it lunged again, this time faster, angrier. Dane moved to sidestep, but the beast's lower arms shot out like traps. One claw hooked his side, the other slammed into his chest, throwing him backward. He hit the arena wall hard. The crowd gasped at the impact. The breath rushed from his lungs, but he stayed on his feet, wiping the blood from his lip. Zirith laughed. Again, the sound cold. "That's better. Break him." The beast came again, slamming its forearms into the ground where Dane stood. Sand erupted like a small explosion. The claws raked forward, forcing Dane to leap back straight into the wall once more. Before he could move, the beast's upper arms pinned him there. Its massive head loomed close, its breath hot and foul. Rows of jagged teeth glistened in the arena lights. The crowd leaned forward, sensing the kill. Some shouted for blood, others laughed, thinking it was over. Zirith's grin returned. You! See now, human? Strength wins. Always. Dane's eyes narrowed. He didn't answer her. Instead, he shifted his weight, pressing his boots against the wall for leverage. In one sudden motion, he twisted his body sideways, slipping between the monster's pinning arms. The movement was so fast, the crowd barely saw it. Now free, he rolled across the sand, ending up behind the beast. The war monster spun, but Dane was already moving, circling, closing in on the cracked spot under its jaw. He muttered under his breath, more to himself than anyone else, "Got you now." The beast lunged again, but this time Dane didn't dodge. He stepped into its attack, planted his foot, and delivered a bone-shattering punch right into the crack. The sound was sickening, like a boulder splitting apart. The crack widened, black fluid spilling freely. The beast staggered, letting out a pained howl that made the whole arena fall silent for a heartbeat. In the stands, a young alien gasped. "He's winning." Zirith's claws scraped her armor, her confident mask beginning to crack just like her monster's hide. Dane didn't smile. He just adjusted his stance, ready for the next exchange. The fight was far from over, but the balance of power had shifted. The human turns the tide. War Beast shook its massive head, black fluid dripping onto the sand. Each drop sizzled, burning small holes in the arena floor. The crowd hissed and muttered, sensing something was different now. Dane circled slowly, keeping his eyes locked on the injured spot under the beast's jaw. His breathing was steady, but his muscles coiled like springs, ready for the next strike. The monster roared and charged again, claws cutting deep into the sand. This time, Dane didn't back straight away. He sidestepped, using the beast's own speed to make it crash into the arena wall. The impact shook the ground. A section of stone cracked. The crowd's cheers grew louder, some for the beast's rage, others for the human's courage. Zirith shouted from her platform, "Crush him, tear him apart." The beast turned, but Dane was already moving, faster than before. He ran toward the wall, leapt, and kicked off it, using the height to slam his knee into the beast's side. A hollow thud echoed. The creature staggered, armor plates shifting. Dane landed smoothly, grabbing a metal spear from a broken wall fixture. The weapon was crude, but his grip was certain. He twirled the spear once, testing the weight. The crowd murmured. The beast lunged, all four arms swinging like hammers. Dane ducked under one claw, locked another with the spear, and stabbed at the gap between its chest plates. The point bit deep, making the beast roar in pain. Gasps erupted in the stands. This was no lucky hit. It was skill. Zirith's claws dug into the railing of her platform. Her voice was a low growl now. "No, this isn't possible." Dane pulled the spear free, dark fluid splattering across the sand. The beast's movements were slower now. Its breathing had turned into heavy, ragged huffs. The human stepped closer, his voice calm but cold. "You should have finished me when you had the chance." The crowd erupted, sensing the shift in power. The fragile human was no longer just surviving, he was winning. The crushing blow. The war beast's breathing was now ragged, each inhale a loud hiss, each exhale a growl of pain. Its armor was cracked in several places, dark fluid dripping onto the sand. Dane stood firm, spear in hand, eyes locked on the wounded monster. He could hear the crowd's noise change. It wasn't pure mockery anymore. It was curiosity. Could this human actually win? The beast let out one last roar and lowered its head, claws digging deep into the sand. Muscles rippled along its massive frame. It was preparing for one final killing charge. Zereth leaned forward on her platform, her voice sharp with desperation. End him now. The beast surged forward with terrifying speed. The ground shook. The air seemed to split apart under its weight. But Dane didn't move. He planted his feet, gripping the spear tighter. His eyes didn't blink. His breath slowed at the last second, just before the claws could tear him apart. He shifted his stance and drove the spear upward, straight into the crack under the beast's jaw. The sound was like stone shattering. The spear punched through armor, bone and flesh, bursting out the top of the monster's head. A wave of black fluid sprayed the sand. The beast's body stiffened, then collapsed to the ground with a deafening thud that shook the entire arena. Silence. The crowd didn't cheer, didn't shout. Every alien in the stands stared in stunned disbelief. Dane stood over the fallen war beast, chest rising and falling slowly. He yanked the spear free and tossed it onto the sand. Then he looked up at Zereth, his voice calm but cutting through the silence. Fragile enough for you? Zereth's claws tightened around the railing, her eyes wide, not in anger, but in fear. In that moment, the galaxy watching from every broadcast screen knew humans were not fragile. Humans were dangerous. The message to the galaxy. The war beast lay still, its huge body stretched across the sand. The smell of blood and scorched dust filled the arena. Dane stepped away from the corpse, his boots leaving calm, steady prints in the dirt. He didn't raise his arms to the crowd. He didn't shout in victory. He simply walked slow, unshaken, as if killing a monster twice, his size, was nothing unusual. The alien audience remained silent. Only the faint hum of the arena's broadcast. Drones could be heard as they floated closer, capturing every detail of the human's face. High above, Zereth stood frozen. Her lips curled, but no words came out. The fear in her eyes was plain for all to see. Somewhere in the stands, an alien whispered to his companion, "If one human can do this, imagine an army of them." Dane stopped at the edge of the arena, where a comm officer handed him a small wrist console. Without looking at the officer, he tapped in a short transmission. A voice crackled through an encrypted channel. "Is it done?" He answered in a quiet, steady tone. "It's done. They'll never call us fragile again." The feed from the arena was already streaming across hundreds of systems. Screens lit up in marketplaces, war rooms, and spaceports. Every species watched the replay over and over the human, who had faced an unstoppable war beast and crushed it. In distant corners of the galaxy, warlords paused their feasts, military commanders leaned forward in their chairs, and even pirate crews went silent. The message was clear. Humans were not prey. Humans were not weak. Humans were a threat to be respected or feared. Dane walked into the docking bay, the doors hissing shut behind him. His ship's engines began to hum, ready for departure. Before leaving orbit, he sent one last message into the void open channel, no encryption, so the whole galaxy could hear. To those who think humans are fragile, come find out.